Hello and welcome back to the Pass the Turn podcast and myself, Aaron Francis, and the no longer mysterious man, Tom Duran.
Hello again.
We aim to bring you all the latest Magic the Gathering hype, spoilers, discussions, and our very own and sometimes foolish opinions. You can either be listening to this on SoundCloud or Spotify now. So we're on Spotify now, which is good. Thanks for setting that up, Tom.
No problem.
But you could also be watching it on YouTube now as well. So I've decided that obviously because we're still semi-lockdown, taking precautions, as everyone should still be doing, it's just a nice piece of content to be releasing on the YouTube as well. So if you're over on YouTube watching this, you'll see all the images that are going to be flashed up as well, that we're going to be mentioning, because we're going to be talking about Zendikar Rising that was spoiled in the Comic Con at Home by Mark Rosewater. So that'll be one of the main topics today. Zendikar Rising, all stuff that's coming with that.
So Zendikar was, when they designed it, as Lands Matter by Mark Rosewater, and as he said in his video, the rest of sort of the design team were quite reluctant. They said, sort of, how can you make lands matter more than the fact that the whole sort of game of Magic revolves around lands?
Yeah.
And sort of saw it as potentially, could it be too broke? Like, could it break things? Mm-hmm. Could it not? But he wanted to make it land matters, and he sort of envisaged like weather world is what he described it as, and sort of maybe like lands could affect the weather in the game or so. So he said it wasn't really fleshed out.
Yeah.
But he said eventually it became landfall, and the world became adventure world, as they called it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what Zendikar was. In terms of the storyline, Zendikar obviously is famous for the Eldrazi being there.
Yeah. But
that's not where they first came from. They also just sort of, we still don't really know where they came from. They just existed in the Blind Eternities.
Yeah.
And Ugin, I think it was Ugin first saw them somewhere on a random plane, and the Eldrazi just destroyed it all. And he could see they were going to do it to the whole multiverse soon if they didn't intervene. So he sought out some other planeswalkers that could help him. I guess he had particular things he was looking for. Mm. And he eventually found Nahiri and Sorin to help, and they decided to build the prison on Zendikar, which was Nahiri's home plane. And that was because it's very mana rich, thus the lands matter. And the idea was that there's very, very strong mana tied to Zendikar.
Yeah.
And the prison needed a lot of mana to function. So that's the sort of their reasoning for it. Obviously, Nahiri didn't want this prison to be on her plane, but they all agreed that if the Eldrazi ever started to break free, Nahiri would call the other two. They'd set off a beacon, and they'd both arrive. So yeah, they went about it. They got Nahiri to use her Lithomancer power to make all the hedrons. Ugin put his inscriptions on them, like the actual sort of magic of sealing them.
Yeah.
I don't really know what Sorin did. I think it was just there to look good. Yeah. While the other two did all the hard work.
It's like nice
I'm sure
flowing hair and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he did do something. But yeah, I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. So it worked. They then lured the Eldrazi there and managed to trap them in the prison, mm-hmm. and it all worked well, relatively. And they were happy about it. They sort of did their little checks and everything, made sure the prison was safe, and Ugin was happy. So they said, right, Ugin and Sorin can go back to their homes and enjoy it. Nahiri can now enjoy Zendikar again. Mm. And basically they said that if ever something's to go wrong, she could set off a beacon, and they have to basically come back. That was their agreement. They would return.
Yeah. I think they've exhausted that storyline though. They're not gonna screw with Zendikar anymore, are they?
I don't think so.
They're just gonna let it flourish now and blossom into this adventure land. Adventureland world, basically. Do you reckon Landfall will probably be back? Do you reckon there'll be any new mechanics?
Well, Mark said there's 2 returning mechanics that have been on a Zendikar set before.
Yeah.
So like I said, that would be Landfall. And my other guess there is the ally mechanic. Basically, if one ally enters, they all get a bonus.
Oh, Rally. No, not Rally.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think it was Rally. That's what they renamed it. Yes. So I think that return mechanic will be Rally after your assistance there.
Okay. Yeah. So Yeah, so whenever something enters a battlefield or another ally enters a battlefield, something happens.
Yes, and it could be your creatures get menace or haste or trample, or maybe just that one creature gets a bonus, like it gets +1/+1 counter. Or obviously there's some that can deal damage. They can draw cards and things. So,
do you reckon there'll be a lot of allies then in this one?
I think so. I think we're still going to stick on the ally theme. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah.
You know me and my allies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that it also follows on from the set. Like it sort of all the different tribes used to sort of stay quite separate on Zendikar, and they worship the gods in their own way.
Yeah.
But then when the Eldrazi did come, they did all have to band together. They all had to put aside their differences. And I sort of think maybe that's going to stay that way. I think maybe they're going to maybe have merged tribes a bit more. I think that ally sort of friendship between them all might be just as strong. So I think it will be back to the proper original Zendikar set and the World Wake set. Yeah. So I'm hoping we get some man lands in there somewhere.
He said there was going to be new dual lands as well.
He did. And weirdly, he said there'd be 6 of them in a cycle.
Yeah.
And I do not know how that works.
Colourless mana.
Yeah, I did think that like is the dual of one of them from colourless to all 5 colours.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that how it like? Is it a weird? So you have to choose one as it enters. I don't know. Maybe one's got more upside. Obviously, the waste sort of style one's got upside. The rainbow one's got downside. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's like a filter land, but you can only pay colourless mana into the filter, but then it adds 1 mana of any colour. You have to fuel it with a colourless, maybe.
Yeah, could be
something like that.
Yeah, that'll work.
That could work.
Yeah.
And that'll be along the lines of these other cards, like from Jumpstart and that are giving you more access to more mana, like the thriving stuff. And I think that's my prediction anyway for that 6th land. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I did see some people suggest, could it be? It's like dual face cards. Could they be coming back as lands? So like when you play it, you choose which side you want to play the land. So you can play it as either a mountain or an island sort of thing.
Oh, really?
So they're still basically only a basic land, but when you play them, you have to choose which side you want. So you get sort of mana fixing on the short term, but long term, you don't have every possible color combination simply, sort of thing.
Yeah. That's quite a cool idea as well. Yeah. I like
that.
Again, it's filtering for what you need at the time, but it's not giving you the long term benefit, like you said.
No. But yeah, we've never had sort of double face cards on Zendikar before, so I feel it might be a bit of a stretch thematically. It's not sort of a standard double set, but could be. They have sort of made it quite clear that they like the design space of sort of the 2-face cards.
What about still speaking about mechanics and what have you? He said it was adventure land or something, didn't he?
Yeah, that's how he sort of built it as originally to the rest of the design team.
So what about adventure mechanic? Do you reckon we might see that from Eldraine? Like, this card is going on an adventure.
Oh, maybe. I feel it's too soon for it. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
I guess that again, they might have done it. They might have, because they do say occasionally when they made vehicles, they said as soon as they did it, they said this is a really good mechanic and it just works, and we can put it everywhere going forward. And they said it's not going to be for it everywhere, but it could be that adventure they did the same. It could be that when they designed it, they said this just works. It lets you do everything you want to do, and it's quite an easy theme that can go everywhere. So yeah, it could be. But no, Mark did say there'd be 2 returning mechanics.
Yeah.
So I think it's the allies and the landfall. But he also said there's going to be a returning mechanic, but it's going to be different. It's going to be like Zendikar changed. So it's sort of like when you did cycling into basic land cycling. So we all know, like, you know what cycling does, but they just tacked on basic land cycling to it.
Yeah.
But they're sort of going to do something that's very similar, but just twist it slightly.
Maybe it could be something like that then.
So yeah, it could be adventure, but I don't know, with an extra caveat to it, then maybe something has to be done, and I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there's an adventure. They go on an adventure, but they can only return from the adventure when you control certain lands or something like that.
Mm.
When
Yeah.
certain mana is available for you to tap, sort of thing, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Or I was just trying whether or not they could almost do stuff where it could come in as a land and then
Yeah.
also be a spell. I don't know. Obviously, you can do anything. It's just how much does that break things? Because then I guess you could just replace all of your lands in your deck with these things.
Yeah, or it starts off as a creature, but then it discovers a land. It turns
Yeah.
into a land like Ixalan stuff. It has to fulfill a criteria, then it turns into a sick land. But yeah, we'll see. But loads of speculations there. I'm sure they'll do something sick.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'll be good.
Should we speak about the art now, or should we speak about just
There was
all the
a few more things that he said just before we do go into the artwork.
Yeah.
And he said these. He did say these in the video just before, and he just said he'd drop a few more little teasers in for us.
Mhm.
And he said we are going to see a lot of our favorite legendary creatures back again. So it's not like we're going to go there and visit a whole new storyline. We're going to go back. We're going to see what the ones we left behind, see what they are now up to, see how they might see how they feel now that the Eldrazi. Do they feel safe now they're gone? Do they feel constantly in fear that they could come back? So I think that's good that we're going to see them. And he did say one of them's going to get a new color. And do you know who that might be?
Well, I was going to say, I was going to ask you first of all, who are these legendary creatures? Do you know who they are at all, or only have any inkling as to what they are?
Well, there was Jorien, I think,
Oh,
the Merfolk
diver or something.
Yeah, who helped out the Gatewatch. There was Tazri, who led the allies. I feel Tazri could come back quite easily.
Yeah.
The one that I was alluding to there is Omnath. He says it gets one more color because obviously he was first printed mono green, then came back as Gruul, then Teema, and in the article of set boosters, they gave us a sort of sneak peek at the sort of the booster pack artwork, and one of them looks a lot like Omnath.
Right.
It's Omnath, but with a 4 farm that's now yellow. So I reckon Omnath now has white in as well. So I think Omnath is going to be every color except black now.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Yeah, he's like an elemental thing, isn't he? He's not going to be. He's not going to be evil, is he? So.
No.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see what that is, because obviously with this product as well, there's going to be 2 commander products as well. I'm not sure if the Omnath is going to be the part of that. I think it might.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? That they use him to, like, they could almost do a sort of it's him versus something bad, and he's the 4 color one, and there's maybe just a mono black one. So I don't know.
Of Nixless returns mono black.
Of Nixless returns.
Of Nixless. No, he's I don't know where he is. But they said.
Well, we think he's in Phyrexia, don't we?
Yeah,
that's our guess.
But someone who did return to Zendikar after the War of the Spark was my favourite Planeswalker, and that's Kiora.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that she turns up after not being on Theros.
Hope she's on at least one of her favourite places.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't think she would be in Theros because I believe she's still got Thassa's B-Dent, hasn't she?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think she's very welcome on Theros. No. I think she's quite welcome on Zendikar. I think everyone quite likes her there.
Yeah.
For the shift she put in against the Eldrazi.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll speak about Kiora in more depth when we go into like sea creatures and stuff on our theme section. So keep tuned with that. But yeah, I thought I'd mention her because she is apparently there now.
Can I just blow all of your hopes and dreams out of the window?
No. Yeah, go on.
In the set boosters article, it says we showed off the set booster image, so we might as well include the rest of the packaging. Here's what the packaging of Zendikar Rising will look like. And yes, that means Jace, Nissa, and Nahiri are the 3 planeswalkers in this set.
Oh, great.
So it's not. It's Jace, Nissa, and Nahiri for you, unfortunately.
It's a shame.
Well, we know Nissa's back to replant the seeds and try and like rejuvenate Zendikar, trying to heal the ley lines.
Oh yeah.
That the Eldrazi broke and things. And so I think there's that. I think Nahiri's going to go back. Obviously, it's back to her home, and it's finally safe-ish, as far as they know.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether Jace is there to fill Nahiri in on the truth of what's happened, and maybe to try and re-recruit Nissa into the Gatewatch after she left following Liliana's betrayal.
Yeah.
And again, let her know the truth. Say that, sort of, just fill her in everything that's happened. Yeah, hope
they go with that. Where they go with that.
I'd hope this is a good story. I hope it's done well. In the books or however they are released, and I think they're going to do a book again.
So yeah, loads of different things are going to be appearing on here as well. Should we talk about the marketing and what sort of products they're releasing with it quickly before we go into the art?
Yeah.
So
to say
there's going to be regular draft boosters. So obviously the boosters we all know and love, which can be drafted. There's also going to be monocoloured theme boosters, like there was in what was it? Has it been every set now? Theme boosters? Or was it just
themes. Yeah, I think it was around Theros, wasn't it? They brought them back. They brought these in.
Yeah.
Again, they're sort of aimed at but they seem to be like sort of for the new player is where the theme boosters are aimed at. You're first trying to build up a collection. And it does give you, like I said, they're usually even only one or two colours, and you get about 30 cards in there. So you've got near enough a whole deck in one pack. Obviously, it's not a particularly good deck, but it is something that you could shuffle up some basic lands and play with, and add in a few other cool cards you've managed to open in other boosters to get going.
A nice little sample of that particular aspect of the world, whatever's in that colour pie, basically. There is also collector boosters as well. So obviously they premiered in Eldraine, I think, or sometime before that. Not too far behind that though. But they're the ones with all the alternate arts and what have you. For all the collectors out there, they want to get all the golden cards.
Yeah, it's got obviously high percentage showcases, foils.
So we've got those now. Those are all now a thing. Obviously, they've proven wildly popular. Obviously, they're perfect for blinging out your decks and stuff and just getting loads of value. What else do they have?
I assume, as normal, they're going to have a bundle. It's like 10 or 6 boosters in the bundle these days. I can't remember.
10 in a bundle.
Yeah, and they come with a pack of basic lands,
and
usually a spin down
as well, or pro. I got a pack leader in my bundle. I'm not sure whether it was
okay.
I'm not sure whether it was a promo or what, but they come with a shiny card in there as well.
Is it just like one single packed foil? Was it?
Well, it was because you get the 10 boosters, and you get this random foil that's packaged in with your basic lands. Yeah.
Okay. So I said that could be the promo. It could be that everyone got that. The dog. Or it could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think
the bundles and stuff, and then you got the new products that they've released as well. The was it the set booster?
Set booster indeed. So should we run through what is in a new set booster?
Yeah, have you got it there? Because
I've got it here.
Yeah.
So I've got the article open as well. But basically, there's 14 there's 14 cards in there. 12 of them are actual playable cards. So the 2 that aren't playable is your token card, token/marketing card, which obviously stands.
Marketing cards aren't playable. What? Outrageous.
And also they bring back the art card, which they used for the Modern Horizons set. Had the art cards in.
Oh yeah, like Yorgmoth and that.
Yes. So Yeah, there's
Just-
81 different arts. Modern Horizons had 54.
Yeah, like
So
Ayula and Queen of Bears and all that sort of stuff.
yeah,
It's a shame they're not playable cards though, isn't it? They're not playable, are they? You can't use them as in your deck as a copy of the card, can you?
no, they're not, unless you ask nicely. I personally, like, if someone comes up to me and they say, oh, I've got a couple of proxies in here, what's the difference of a proxy being something they've scribbled on a bit of paper or this that looks like a really nice actual card?
Yeah.
I personally would rather if they had this in the deck, but like, I don't mind. I know if you're, obviously, you can't play it in any real constructed,
No.
sort of real tool, you're not going to play it in your modern GP or anything. But if someone turns up to Commander game night and they've got, like I said, a Rule of the Bear as their commander, cool. That's like, as long as they know what the card does, that's my only sort of caveat. If someone's got proxies, they've got to know what it is.
Yeah.
They can't sit there and go, well, I think this is about 4 mana. But yeah, that's what I'd do. And the cool thing about these art cards is there's a 5% chance they're going to have a little gold signature stamp on it from the artist.
That's cool, yeah.
So again, it just gives you, like I said, they made this set booster as a way for basically for people that just like to open boosters. And Mark gave out a stupidly high percentage of boosters they think are opened purely for the sake of opening boosters. They said they're not drafted with them, and it's just to open up to try and get. Also, some must be people trying to open it to find certain cards. Obviously, shops open up loads of booster boxes to just give themselves an inventory of singles.
Yeah. That's good because I personally I like opening boosters, but opening draft boosters as they are now, as
boring.
Yeah, exactly. And as he said in this, there is like a journey that you go on with these with these cards. So I don't know the order. Do you know the order?
So I think this is the order. I think as you open the pack, this is the first one you see is the art card. So straight away you open this pack, and listen, you've got 5% chance that it's got the cool gold stamp.
Yeah.
The one obviously you've got a fun artwork that you might be obviously trying to collect all of these. You might just want your favorite ones. And yeah, just straight away you've got the little chance of, oh yeah, it's got the stamp on it. So that's a bit of fun. Then the next one is the land. Obviously, normally your land's near the back of your pack in the normal draft booster. This, because it is Zendikar Rising, will be a full art land, but I don't think they are normally. I think they're just a land of the set. But again, there's a 15% chance it's foil. And apparently this is completely independent of the art being stamped. So obviously you could be really lucky to get the stamped art plus a foil land.
Yeah. That's nice. It's good that they're opening it with the full art card and the land as well, because it's a set booster, so it really gives you the flavour of the world as soon as you open it.
Yeah, like I said, opening that up and nice big panoramic shot of something, a character or something that's happening in the set.
Yeah, they're nice really land as well to set the flavour of what the mountains look like or what the islands look like. I think it's a nice way to really solidify what the set is about. So what do you have after that land slot then?
So after the land, you've got 6 commons or uncommons, and they're loosely tied to some sort of connection. Mm-hmm. I gave examples. They could all just be the same creature type. They could all be related to a particular character. They might have a mechanical connection, like they may be like sort of mini landfall set. So yeah, I think that's quite a nice thing again. I just having that theme, something you can quickly look through and think, oh, what is the theme here? But this is really just the nuts and bolts of the pack sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's nice that all the nuts and bolts are still in synergistic tandem with each other, and you can get a flavour of what those characters or what those legions are trying to do. So it's sort of like Jumpstart-y, where your pack is still fairly cohesive in a sense.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice.
So after those 6, you get one more common or uncommon.
Yeah.
But this one has a different frame. So this is going to be the showcase frame. Like I say, it has to be a common or uncommon. But he's also said that they've got a new frame sort of thing, but he hasn't said what it's going to be. It could just be frameless. It could textless. It could just be that it's basically the art card, but with a mana cost in the corner. I don't really know what they're going to do with it. But yeah, so apparently there's going to be a new sort of frame style coming out, and that's what this is going to be. So you're going to get one card here that's got this new thing. I'm just going to check, see if it says whether or not there's a chance these can be foils or not. I guess not, because I think they might want to keep the foil showcase cards only for the premium pack. What are they called?
Collector boosters.
Collector booster, yeah, sorry. So yeah, I think you might be able to get this in foil. They'll still look really good, but if you want the particular foil ones, then you're going to have to go and spend big money and get your collector boosters.
Yeah.
But then, like I say, that's what they're there for. They're for people that do want to spend a lot of money, but to make sure their decks are unique. Having their exact choice of lands and arts and styles.
Yeah, I do quite like the idea of just having a massive piece of art on this card and then just having the title and the mana cost.
Yeah.
It was like I think I remember a Damnation card being like a full art, just a name and the title and the mana cost, because everybody knows what it does. It just destroys all creatures. So yeah,
they used to do it a few times with promos, didn't they?
Yeah, because everybody knew what it was. You don't need an explanation.
And just in general, I'm going to say I've been loving the showcase work.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't a huge fan of them in Eldraine. In fact, they are growing on me as I look back at them sort of in retrospect. I do think they actually look quite smart.
It's just I think for me as well personally, it's just the theme of Eldraine, like fairies and stuff, is just not my bag. So I didn't really gravitate towards it. But what they're doing now with it, and like when they did the old full art Amonkhet lands and that sort of stuff, I really like that. But yeah,
sort of by contrast, I loved the Ikoria ones. The sort of, I don't know what that art style's called, but it's almost looks comic booky to me. It's It was much more. It's less realism to the pieces. It was
the triomes especially really nice.
Oh yeah, they were amazing. I saw them. I thought, oh, that'll be cool. Yeah, I'll go and buy a set of them. Then I saw how much they were. I said, no, I'll leave that.
No thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, if you know what the art style is, obviously just let us know, because they are very nice, the Ikoria ones. But as you said, very comic book style-esque.
Yeah.
Less realism.
Interested to see what they do on Zendikar with that. What is the Zendikar showcase going to be? Maybe it'll be more highlighting the land around the creature.
Maybe, yeah. Well, yeah, especially if it's if it's land matters, absolutely, and they're running with that completely and utterly, then 100% the art should pop through for that.
So after the showcase card, we get onto the rares.
Yeah.
And basically there's 2 slots, and they call them the wild card rarity. And basically it's 2 cards, and they can be anything from just being 2 commons all the way up to being 2 mythics. And obviously the more that you're going to get, more mythics, like the rarer that's going to be. Or for example, getting 2 rares is 1.6% of the time, and rares get upgraded to mythics 1 in 8 times. So if I had a calculator, I could tell you that that's a really small percentage of getting double mythic there.
Someone will get it though, and they'll be like, "Oh my goodness me!" They'll post a video and be like, "Wow."
Yeah, looking at it though, just under half the time you'll get 2 commons.
Yeah,
but there is 23% of the time chance of getting at least 1 extra rare.
Yeah.
So it's quite good. So the sort of 1 in 4 packs you open, you should get 2 rares in these.
It's just like a little prelude to the rare. It's just like, these are 2 completely and utterly wild cards. I don't care what I get in this section, but I know that there is still a chance of getting something.
Yeah.
So you're not really expecting a big hit, but you can still get a big hit, which is nice. Just a bit nice little premature before the rares, but you can still get rares, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd sort of say, wait, if you're trying to compare this back to a normal set, what were is it 10 uncommons you normally get in a booster pack? 10 or 11. But they have now become possibly commons or uncommons.
Yeah.
Your uncommons have become, or like I say, they could be commons. But your uncommons have been now, they could be up to rare, uncommon or rare, right? They could be anything.
Yeah.
And then the next slot is the rare mythic slot, which is the same as it is in a draft booster. So this, you are guaranteed one rare here. And again, it could be upgraded to mythic. And they have said, actually, going forward, mythics used to be 1 in 8 cards, but now mythics are going to be 1 in 7.4. Okay. So, very small chance of getting more mythics. They said that's the same across draft boosters, everything now. Just the way they're going to design the sheets as they print them out whole. And I think someone said basically all it's going to mean is in a set, there's 1 less rare, 1 more mythic in every set going forward now. And the way that collates across their printing sets means it's 1.74 now.
That's good.
So yeah, obviously always good to just see more mythics, a bit more fun.
Yep, definitely. And then we got we got a foil slot as well, haven't we? Which can be anything.
Yeah. Again, yes. Yeah, next we've got the foil slot, and again that could be any rarity again. So you are guaranteed a foil in every one of these packs as well.
That's good. Yeah.
You're guaranteed, obviously the rare still. You're guaranteed a foil.
Your land has got a large, a fair chance of being a foil version.
Yeah, because I think normally your foil slot is taken up by a foil land, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you would get one, so the fact is you could get sort of 2 foils and 2 rares almost in one pack if you're lucky, and yeah, seems good. So yeah, should note that both the wild card rarities and the normal rare and mythic slot, they are both not foil. They're never foil.
No.
Like we said, the connected. The connected 6 can't be foil either, can they? We said it's just the land can be foil.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a land, and you got the foil slot. That's it, I think.
Yeah. Still, that's good though. I still think it's good just generally getting a guaranteed foil every pack. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Like I said, well, as long as they don't bend too much.
No, hopefully not. Yeah, some of the foiling recently has been really bad. I think we mentioned that last time, but yeah, hopefully it's just a temporary thing.
Yeah, and the final card in the pack is your token.
Yeah.
Token / marketing card, as they call it.
Yeah, so that'll be Friday Night Magic, and then your soldier or core ally on the back, whatever.
Exactly. But there's a big but this time. 25% of the time, it's a card from, as they just call it, the list. And the list is going to be just 300 cards from Magic's history. And they're going to be printed in the original frame. I think using the original text that was on them.
Right.
Original art. So it's just going to look exactly like you've opened up a pack, a card from, so like Time Spiral or, yeah, just anything really. It could be anything crazy. So I'm saying these sets, you've got 25% chance of getting something really random. Like in the mystery booster, they've got a little symbol in the bottom left corner, just so you know it's not an original. Because I guess, again, to help collectors and stop people sort of trying to pretend they've got like a very old, very good card in mint condition when really it's a brand new card.
Reprint,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what stuff they'll include in that then. Yeah,
well, the ones they released 3 so far as like little teaser, basically to show that they can literally be anything.
Right.
One was Muscle Sliver, so that's the green 1 and a green for a 1/1 sliver. All slivers get +1/+1.
Oh right, yeah.
Again, and that's is that Tempest? The set that was originally in. Yeah, so it's just showing you they're going back to putting in really they are putting in the old frames. The next one is Cloud Goat Ranger, so that's 3 white for a 3/3. When it comes into play, put 3/1/1 Kifkin soldiers into play. tap 3, untapped Kithkin, you control Cloudgate range gets +2, +0 and gains flying till end of turn. So just weird. They're not all playable.
Yeah,
as the
I
Rangers
was going to say nothing overpowered then.
No, but just something silly, just something that I guess if you're newer to Magic, you wouldn't know about this card, and just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And then the third one they've shown is Pact of Negation, which it is a playable card.
What?
So the free counter spell that you have to pay 5 next turn, you lose the game. But that's not the point. It's a free counter spell.
That's outrageous. That could just be in Zendikar Rising for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Obviously, these obviously still aren't going to be standard legal. They're still only set their sets they're currently legal in. And like I said, they're not going to open these to play any sort of draft or sealed. Obviously, you could. There's no reason. There's no reason not to, apart from they haven't designed it that way. So again, yeah, it's not going to warp things. Silly. So
that's just good though. It's like the set booster is for people that just enjoy opening boosters for the experience and just hoping to hit something good just for they got the expendable cash to just buy a booster or whatever for whatever reason. But having this extra thing in here, just random the list potential, is even better for that person who likes the experience of just opening random jank or random cards of intrinsic value.
Yeah, so it's just, and they've said basically they've got a list of 300, and they've clearly said they want to do the set booster going forward. This isn't a one-off. They're going to do this going forward.
Yeah,
and they said this list of 300 is going to stay roughly the same, and it's just going to slowly just have a few things move in and out each set. Just so it's not the exact same every time, but sort of the core of it will be.
Yeah.
So I think they will use it as a way to get, I don't know, maybe it will be to get particular reprints, maybe not massive value, but just sort of middle ground value, just a way to get a few more of them into the supplies without having to throw them into actual proper master sets, potentially causing problems.
Yeah, you don't want to put too many into the world, do you? Otherwise, it will just completely screw with what's going on.
Yeah.
Value-wise and that, but it's just a good way of chucking in extra stuff for these people that want to buy this product.
Yeah.
I think it is priced at more than obviously a regular one, but that's understandable with all the stuff that you get.
Yeah, they've said it's going to be about $1 more, so I guess in England it's probably going to be about £1 more. Still.
Oh, that's nothing. That's right then.
But they've basically reckon that on average, if you spend £50 on a pack of draft boosters or £50 on a pack of set boosters, the amount of rares and mythics you open across both should sort of even out. So even though you've got more packs of the booster drafts, you're only guaranteed one of each, one rare in each pack. Whereas this, you might get 2, you might get 3, another one you might get 1.
Yeah.
They reckon it should balance out. So although you're getting less packs, you should still get the same amount of value. So I think you can get up to. So obviously you've got your rare and mythic slot is a guaranteed rare. Mm-hmm. Your foil could be a rare. The 2 wild rarities could be a rare. And all these rares could possibly be mythics, a rare/mythic.
Yeah.
And even that list, the 25% chance of getting a list card, that could possibly be mythical rare. So you've got potentially five rares or mythics in a pack if you get really lucky.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
So I think it sounds really good for £1 more. I'm willing to take the bet on this.
Yeah, and even you can even do funny pack wars of this for an extra £1.
Yeah. I'm sure you could do something daft and just see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, some good products, and obviously it's good to know that I didn't know that they were going to do this constantly all the time now. So it's good to know that if there is a set, if you're not a fan of Zendikar, if there's a Theros one in the future or an Innistrad one in the future, at least you know that there is going to be a set for each plane that you enjoy, which is good.
So how personal do you get? So are you on board with this? Do you think you'll buy these sorts of packs, or do you think you'll stick to the old draft ones, or go for the collectors?
I'm on board with the set booster because I'm the kind of person that just likes to crack packs for the enjoyment rather than trying to. Obviously, I have done draft and events and stuff like that before, but I buy boosters for the experience of just cracking the packs and
Yeah.
seeing what I get. So the more the merrier, really. And obviously the wild cards and that are just nice to know that it's not a guaranteed great card, but it could be. So it's just that unknown factor, which is what I like, and the list card as well. The fact that your promo card or token could be a Pact of Negation is just it's just pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm the same. I'm fully on board with this.
Yeah.
Because they said one of the things is obviously you get less cards in general. But I've got I don't know how many thousands of commons and uncommons sat around,
Oh yeah.
and sort of I don't know what do you do with them. You can try and sell them for bulk, but you only get a couple of quid.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Whereas this, you almost get half as many, and possibly twice as many rares. So I think it will just help people balance their collection a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. It's just giving you more stuff. But yeah, so some good supplement products coming out of it, and it's good to know that they're going to be rolling with that. I'm sure it will be successful because there's people like us that like to crack packs just for the experience, and that's what this pack is for. People like that. So it's good. So yeah, they're all the products that you get with Zendikar. Correct us if we've missed any, but I don't think we have.
I imagine there'll probably also be Planeswalker decks, like the old intro deck things.
Yeah.
So I imagine there'll be 2 or 3 of them again, as
Yeah.
always.
2 commander decks we mentioned already. Do you reckon they'll do set booster bundles or not?
I don't know actually. I think it'd make more sense for these to be in the bundle.
Yeah.
The draft ones, because I think the way they're talking about it is these draft ones. You should only buy them if you want to draft.
Yeah.
And you're not going to buy a bundle to draft with.
No.
So I think they should put these in the bundle.
Yeah, I do as well. I don't mind paying. Well, it's 10 packs, so yeah, what probably if they'll knock off a bit of value, they'll probably be £8 to £10 more for a set bundle would be worth getting.
I'm just trying to see
that experience
on the bundle whether or not it tells you, but no, it doesn't say what the contents are. Sometimes you can see little sort of snippets of the thing. Although there is one more product, and I don't think they've mentioned this anywhere, not that I've seen. It's called Zendikar Rising Welcome Booster.
All right.
Again, this is just in the set booster article online that went up not yesterday, the day before. And when it's just got a picture of all the products just lined up next to each other. And at the front there's something that's called Zendikar Rising Welcome Booster.
No.
I'm not sure if maybe that's the new name of the theme booster. If that's just the new name for the mono cut, and they're calling it Welcome, so maybe it's easier for new players to know that that's for a new player. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's like welcome to the Zendikar plane. Yeah. This is the blue creatures or blue segment or what have you.
So I don't know.
Maybe yeah.
But I thought the point of the themes was though it told you on the front what the didn't it used to say like this is a green pack, so you don't open it and go it's a random. I don't know what color it's going to be. You knew like you're going into it. I want the green one. I'll go and buy that.
Yeah.
Whereas this doesn't seem to show that. It's welcome.
I don't know then. I haven't seen that personally, but it'll be interesting to see what was in that if that's a real thing. But nice. Loads of mechanics, loads of different themes, loads of different products. So it's looking interesting. And one of the things that is very, very interesting and beautiful is the art that was spoiled in the panel. So we'll go into that now before we end it. But the art looks fantastic. So the first one that he spoiled, if you want to have a look at the Comic Con at home, it's at 11:35 or something.
Yeah, around there. I think I've got it open at 11:32 is where the art starts. Before that is him talking about sort of the creation of Zendikar, like from the design perspective and some of the details we went through about Zendikar. And after the artwork is shown is when he talks about the set boosters and again their creation, their contents, and everything else. But this first picture, what are we looking at here, Aaron? You can describe it.
So, first of all, what I like about it. I don't know I don't know this plane very well, so I don't know if these are anything of significant. These like rocks floating in the air, covered in moss. But what I want to point out here is the angle of which the picture is. It's like diagonal, so it's not like the rocks that you're looking at are tilted at a diagonal angle, and so it looks like you're sort of. It's hard to explain. It's like you're in an Inception film, and you're like sort of on the wall, and there is a character on the wall. So what is this character on the wall there? It looks like an elf.
Yeah, because it looks like an elf scaling down the side of some other rocks. So they're there sort of at the foreground, so you can't really see what they are. Using the line slingers, which traditionally what the core use to get around between the floating hedrons and things.
Yeah.
So again, this alludes to my point earlier about the fact that I think allies are coming back. And I think this is showing that they're all going to be working together. They've all obviously learned each other's skills and stuff when they came together for the war. Because I think traditionally the elves wouldn't have done this, whereas I think now they've learned from the core that you can just hang around on these rocks and just sort of move around quite easily.
Yeah.
I think they're just working together. Hopefully this is cementing the fact that allies are back, is my hope.
Yeah, because it's showing that, well, the card that comes to mind when I think of these hook slingers is that core entanglers in your ally deck.
Yes.
That's what it reminded me of. But then you said, obviously just then, that it's an elf. Or it looks like an elf because of the pointy ears. So yeah, it's just alluding to the fact that they are potentially all getting each other's skills. Which is nice. And yeah, and that alludes to allies and camaraderie. So yeah, maybe that is a good point that we will see the allies come back.
As you said, though, I can't tell particularly what this building is with the floating sort of columns.
Yeah. So they're not hedrons, are they?
No, these aren't the hedrons. These are just columns. Floating stuff was used a lot in Zendikar. They could quite easily make sort of built parts of building float and things.
Yeah. But I really like that aesthetic. It's like some sort of otherworldly manner is holding the object in place. It's just like very eerie, very otherworldly, which is probably why the Eldrazi were interested in it.
I think what is good to see that the stuff does still float is that it shows it wasn't just because of the Eldrazi.
No,
it wasn't the Eldrazi that made things float. It seems that Zendikar itself made things float.
Yeah.
Which I think is good.
Loads of raw mana there. Yeah. So yeah, nice striking image to begin with.
Should we move on to number 2?
Yep. So the next one, what's your interpretation of that then? More floating stuff.
That is explosive.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if this is meant to be Valakut. I don't know, is the whole the volcano managed to be floating. Again, though, it looks like a building. It looks like a structure. But yeah, there's a structure that now has a volcano on top of it, and it's destroying everything. And it's just molten lava just flowing down.
Valakut wasn't on Zendikar, was it?
I thought it was.
Oh, was it? Oh,
I thought Valakut was original Zendikar.
Maybe that is Valakut then.
Let's have a look.
But yeah, again, it's more like a floating structure, as you said, with that volcano just eroding the whole structure, and there's like a stepping stone sort of path leading up to that structure as well. And there's like a weird on the right hand side. If you look on the right hand side of that structure, there's like a weird face in the rock.
Just like on the top of it, looks almost like it's got glowing green eyes, almost like a lizard-looking face.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, on the right side.
That.
It's weird. Like a horn on his head as well.
Yeah. I can't tell if it is just a rock that looks a bit like a person, like a thing, or if it is something there lurking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But then you can see like around it, this structure is clearly something much bigger. Like you can see other ones floating around it.
Yeah.
Again, they don't seem to be. I don't seem to like recognise them as anything in particular.
No. What do you reckon these will be then? Do you reckon these will be lands? These arts?
I don't know. This could also just be like a spell. This could be destroy target artifacts or land, non-basic land or something, couldn't it? This,
Yeah, I guess.
feel.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
But you're right. It could be a land. It could be something. Do you feel top left? So just where the smoke's billowing out at the top, just to the left. Do you think they look a bit like Eldrazi floating, or are they like the floating jellyfish, the Gormazoas things?
Yeah, it's just the tentacles do look like, yeah.
Were they on? What were they called? Was it Gormazoa? What was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Guard Gormazoa was the card. Yeah, prevent all damage that would be dealt to it when it got damaged. Yeah, so there is.
Gormazoa.
Yeah, maybe there is like still weird.
Oh, I think it might just be some of these then. These weird floating jellyfish things because they were on Zendikar.
Right.
So I think it's just a couple of them hanging around, and they are weird, aren't they? They're almost like a rock at the top and these weird tendrils.
Yeah.
And they
actually look quite Eldrazi-ish.
Yeah. Whether or not that's deliberate, were they sort of made? Because obviously the Eldrazi, when they became ancient, a lot of their sort of lore, not really their lore, but like people sort of revered them as gods through the telling of stories as it went down. And did they all? I don't know if these jellyfish could have been sort of created in the vision of these old gods and how perfect they could have been.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Interesting. Got a couple of jellyfish floating around there. Well, it looks like it. It looks like they are. It doesn't look like it's a floating structure like this with like the rigid spikes.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are very straight columns.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, isn't it? Very sort of distinct. Whereas those looked more
definitely more alien-like.
Different.
Yeah. So that's that one. The next one's really nice.
I do like their health and safety of the roping off of this. Always safety first, kids.
Yeah, just in case there's a little entanglement rope there that you can just swing off and get out of that blast zone.
Yeah. So what's next?
Next one is really, really good looking. It's like, well, in the forefront of the picture, you can see like 3 adventurers just walking up to this massive landscape, and it looks like there's some structures that have fallen and just embedded themselves in this swampy, grassy sort of marshland. Do you know what they are, those things?
No, they look really Eldrazi-ish.
Like the Eldrazi monuments.
Yeah, but they don't look hedron. They don't look hedron shaped. They look almost too cube to be hedrons.
Yeah.
See, I don't know whether or not the Eldrazi made these things. Maybe that's how they corrupted stuff. Maybe like they are corrupted versions of like there's lots of floating rocks around here, so like the big floating sort of they're not islands, they're just sort of like big rocks or lumps of mountain floating around in this picture. I'm not sure maybe if they could corrupt them and it makes them just go cube and it's weird thing. They've got a weird blue glow about them.
Yeah, well, if you I'll flash up the card now next to this picture, Eldrazi Monument. If you look at the artwork in Eldrazi Monument, it is literally big blue cubes. And these monuments, alluding to the card.
Yeah, it is, yes.
Yeah,
it is them, isn't it?
It's definitely them, yeah. So the Eldrazi Monument gives creatures you control +1/+1, have flying and indestructible. So basically it morphs those creatures into Eldrazi's, maybe. And that's what this is alluding to, is the fall of the Eldrazi's. And that's why they're embedded in the aforementioned grassy marshland, which is now just got like trees sprouting off of the monuments to signify that the Eldrazi have, they're gone. Zendikar's retaking the land from them, sort of thing.
I'm just trying to think. Maybe this was like sort of the actual prison bit.
Yeah.
These cubes, maybe because like the Hedrons sort of they helped sort of bend the ley lines for the prison power. Maybe the cubes are the real prison. Maybe that's where the Eldrazi were sort of trapped in amongst all this cube. That's sort of the picture sort of is implying there. There's from Eldrazi Monument. But I think we haven't actually mentioned the talking point of this new artwork, have we, Aaron?
All right.
The fact that there is Ulamog, some sort of statue, or possibly even just the real Ulamog, is also just in the middle of all of this.
All right. That's that Ulamog, is it?
That is him. Well, I think it looks a lot like him.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
It. So yeah, I don't know whether or not, like I say, is it a monument? Is it like one of the old ones they built with the gods? But it looks too much like Ulamog. They didn't seem to have it nailed down enough. So I think this might be the real Ulamog, sort of like a shell of him almost, just that's collapsed and is here now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the again, if you look at the Eldrazi monument, if you type in Eldrazi monument art, I'll flash it up again here for YouTube viewers. In the Eldrazi monument art, there is this big Eldrazi there big Eldrazi or some sort of Eldrazi character who's just like floating along among the cubes. So this literally must be that place, but just a fallen version of it.
Yeah, it is very similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
I don't know who that Eldrazi is.
I think that looks like Ulamog, because Ulamog looks like he's wearing like a helmet like Garrick's.
Yeah, so it's got to be then.
That sort of thing, like the faceless mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, the monument's sort of covered in. It's now over. So whether or not it's a monument or whether it is the real thing, it's covered in trees and moss, and it's all overgrown. But again, I think the point of this is to show the real scale of that.
Yeah.
Whatever that Eldrazi was, I guess it could be one of the broodlings of Ulamog. It might be
like
Ulamog's almost like the Desolation twin. Yeah, one of them real big ones. One of the real, not quite a Titan, but they're the ones that did the work when they got there.
Yeah.
Not one of the little drones.
No, that's good. Yeah, like you said, the scale of it, the three tiny little figures in the forefront of the picture, just witnessing the absolute fall of what with the past of Zendikar is now just being just now flourishing again, which is a nice picture, and it's sort of masked in this like foggy haze with the sun like creeping through the clouds. It's not like bright light or anything. It's like proper hazy. So that's sort of setting the tone of what it is, sort of thing, the scale and the awe.
Yeah.
So it is a very, very nice piece of art, that one.
Yeah, in general, the tone it is sort of quite dark. Obviously, the world is recovering, but it's not vibrant as the old Zendikar used to be. Like when we first watched Zendikar, it was very, very vibrant playing. Whereas this, it's close. It still clearly has been decimated by the Eldrazi, and it's still trying to recover.
Yeah.
But you can see it is recovering. The stuff is regrowing again.
Yeah, it is very much that in between, isn't it? It's showing you what the past was, but what is coming, sort of thing. But yeah, nice. You could speak about that piece of art all day as to what it's trying to represent. It's really good.
Yeah, unfortunately with this we didn't get, and I haven't actually seen any artists come out and say, "Oh, that's my artwork."
No.
So maybe some of them have. Maybe I've just missed a few of them. But yeah, unfortunately we can't actually credit any of the artists for their good work in any of this yet.
No, but I'm sure that'll be a
we'll find out soon enough.
We'll find out soon enough. That is very, very good. That one's our favourite one so far.
Yeah.
The next one is some form of character.
A character.
Yeah.
An angel character, some would say.
Oh, an angel character. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And they've even got a sort of weird halo around the head as well.
Yeah. So the halos, again, this is something that old lore of Zendikar is. They used to all have their halos above their head, like sort of a normal angel, sort of say.
Yeah.
But when the Eldrazi came, it blinded all the angels, and it's some sort of punishment. I don't know who decided the punishment, but all the angels now wear their halo over their eyes.
All right.
It's sort of like their punishment not doing enough to protect when the Eldrazi first came, I think. But there are a few things I wanted to point out in this artwork more than the halo. Is that head, the sort of head scarf thing, cloak, and the sort of trails coming off it. Do they almost like Jace patterns to you? Does that look Jace reminiscent, or
it does? Yeah.
Is it too angular for you?
Yeah,
I don't know. It just seemed familiar, but I can't really 100% tell where it's familiar from. But I can't really think what Jace did on Zendikar either that would mean that they all now want to imitate him as some sort of god. He didn't really sort of play an active role in the Eldrazi's destruction. Like I'd say if they were now going to revere anyone as a god for destroying Eldrazi, it'd be Chandra.
Yeah.
Literally like incinerating them and their weird warped world.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure who this is, but it's probably going to be some form of, I don't know, legendary creature, or just be a vanilla creature.
I can't remember which of the legendary angels there were on Zendikar.
While you're having a look at that, I do like in this art how the sword is represented. It's like the handle doesn't even connect to the blade. It's like being held in place by an invisible force. I think that looks awesome.
Oh well, I've been looked at original Zendikar so far, but the only legendary angel so far is Iona, and this one definitely isn't Iona.
Absolutely not.
Because Iona doesn't have the the halo over her eyes. But yeah, the blade, the weird geometric pattern on it, that's very Eldrazi. That was Kozilek's distortion magic created these weird. Oh, yeah. So I don't know whether or not they've picked up Eldrazi and somehow turned them into weapons. Because also you can see the Hedron there. They definitely took the Hedron and used them as weapons. But yeah, the weird sort of square spiraling, like it's almost like a squared spiral coming out on like as a shimmer up the blade. If you have a look at the art for Kozilek, it's which one is
great
it?
Distortion, isn't he? He's
yeah. The one that's really good to show a very similar thing is if you look at Kozilek's translator, and it's an Eldrazi sort of walking out of the sea, leaving a weird oily slick behind it. But the oily slick becomes this weird cube pattern again, the weird like sort of squared spiral.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and again the Kozilek's very much famous. Well, you see a lot of the Kozilek stuff has the floating shards around their head and things like that. They had the sort of stuff float in front of them like the sword is there. It's not connected to the handle.
No. So maybe they're just sort of they're trying to now harness like Kozilek's, or take influence from Kozilek's power, and the fact that they got the halo over their eyes is like just a reminder of their failure, and they're trying to sort of harness that power for good now. Obviously they failed before. Now they're trying to redeem themselves by using it against whatever evil they're trying to oppress here. By the looks of it.
I just thought like possibly it could be the blades. I just said about the floating black shards around their heads and things.
Yeah. Maybe
that like the blade has just been made out of that. Maybe when they died, these shards fell to the floor, and they're like, well, it's clearly still emanating some power, so we might as well make the best weapons we can.
So that's a cool one. Nice picture of a character of some sort or a creature. The next one's quite cool. So is this Ugin's spirits floating around some Hedrons here?
I don't know. I don't know. It's very, like I said, I thought that it looked like almost like spirit rain, but I have no idea what it could be. I can't again think of anything that's on the old Zendikar stuff. I can't think of anything that they say like, oh, that just happens. That's just a weird sort of snowstorm. Like I say, it looks almost like spirits.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what it is alluding to. Obviously, yes, it's very, very Ugin-y because obviously the spirits floating around, and obviously
it's his blue magic color, isn't it? It's his shimmer thing.
Yeah, it's like ghost fire they call it.
Yeah,
like that's the first card that Ugin appeared on without actually being a character. We discussed it ages ago, but it's very Ugin-y.
I think the wall where this is Seagate, which is the big wall that protects the city, and it's where they lured Ulamog 2 for the big fight at the end. So yeah, I don't know what this is doing. I don't know whether or not there's also some big hedrons there as well, placed on some sort of plinths.
Yeah. And also, right in the background as well, behind this large pillar, right in the background, there's like a mountain or some sort of spire that's like shooting up this.
Yeah, it looks like that's where this rain is originating from. It's sort of coming from the ground, spurted up in the air like a volcano, and it's coming back down again.
Yeah,
but it looks the most like the least volcanic volcano I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's been
So no, I'm very interested to see what this is, and I don't know. Maybe everyone else does know. Maybe we've just missed what this is alluding back to.
Yeah.
It
looks like it's like restoration or restorative purposes, though. It doesn't look like it's being destructive.
It looks very healing. It looks. So I guess this could be a spell, maybe Nissa, and maybe that's what the Planeswalkers are doing here. Maybe this is their big plan. It's some sort of big rejuvenation thing. Possibly.
Heal Zendikar,
yeah.
Maybe. So it'd be interesting to see what card that's depicted on, whether it's a spell or a land or something. But yeah, these are all very, very flavourful, and give us a nice little view as to what Zendikar looks like, past and present and future. So the next one is, wow, it looks like the Death Star's just been blown up.
Yeah, it's another floating structure that's been destroyed, much like the volcano from before, the moss-grown one from the first one we looked at. Just shards of debris all just sort of lingering in the air. It doesn't look like it's been freshly destroyed. It's not like you've just witnessed the actual explosion. It looks like it was blown up a few, obviously, years ago, however long, and then this is just how it stays. It just sits in this weird stasis.
Yeah. That's what I like about this, about all these arts and the flavour of it, is that you can tell that something massive, big, massive battles happened here, and because of the way that Zendikar interacts with its landscapes, it is just basically a frozen in time. When it's been blown up and the shards are still just floating around, it's just become part of the landscape. I just absolutely love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's preserved the destruction.
Yeah.
And across the old Zendikar sets, there were a few weird things that were like the same sort of scene being depicted, and there was a lot of stuff about Emrakul coming. And apparently, when Emrakul first emerged from the prison, there was a huge chunk missing, and just generally looked a bit haggard. And apparently, as the sets went along, you could see like a real clear, slowly rebuilding, and seemed to be just moving away, trying to sort of go and recover. And it just, so whether or not they've got this built in, or maybe there'll be a thing of you'll be able to see what this was, what it is now.
Yeah.
Maybe even recovering again. If ever we come back to Zendikar, maybe it'll even go so far as it'll just rebuild itself. I don't know whether or not it will eventually do that, or
maybe that
shape anew. I don't know.
Maybe that spell that the picture we just saw will restore Zendikar to its former state. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be that's sort of part of what that's doing.
But yeah, again, I like the colours and the background to this as well. That again, the sun is not depicted as shining all this light on a scene. It's literally in the background there. It's got loads of clouds behind it. It's given us a feeling that it's not, the sun isn't at the highest point in the sky. It's like coming through the clouds. It's like you're trying to struggle through to get its light through, which is like trying to depict the scene even more and the picture even more. Is that it's not at its full potential. It's like shining through, trying to get its light through, sort of thing. So yeah, I love the feelings of all these pictures, which is nice. No idea what that location was. Just looks like some sort of temple again, but I don't know what structure that was. If you know, obviously leave a comment.
I don't know.
I can't think of what it is. But again, nice scene. This next one is awesome.
Yeah, the cutest artwork you'll see in the set, I imagine.
Yeah.
So some Hedron has now become a little elemental, covered in little leaves and flowers.
Yeah.
Friends with a butterfly.
Yeah.
Do
you reckon this will be an elemental creature?
I think it might even be a token. I don't know why. To me, I just saw this and I thought, I think this might be a little token that they use. Whatever can make little elemental tokens in this. Probably Omnath again.
Like, it could make elemental artifact creatures, couldn't it? That'd be a weird token we've never seen before, an elemental artifact creature.
Yeah, that would be
it's-
something. Because like, so the head is a Hedron. It is a, which obviously, like the Hedron crab and things. Like the other Hedron creatures are all artifacts.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like obviously Zendikar, you know, it is like Zendikars, the whole Zendikars Royal. The land is alive, but it's now sort of taken over these machines, and the machine becomes part of the elemental sort of thing. Or the old Eldrazi monuments become part of the elemental structure, which is what I think would be really good. Like all these, like you know, Avenger of Zendikar comes in with loads of plant tokens, but the plant tokens are actually elemental artifact creatures instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one, but it is cute. Yeah, like you said, it's like an R2D2 of the Zendikar. This next one is completely, I have no idea about. Have you got any idea on this one?
No,
what this is?
it reminds me of something. I can't think what it is, but it reminds me of something. The only note I wrote down for this is Hedron Pineco. And I was like, I don't really know what it is. Weird purple light coming out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is the Eye of Ugin. Is that what that was? Is that what's in the middle?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, it's got like weird scriptures on it. So you said earlier about Ugin writing his scriptures onto stuff. There are some weird scriptures.
It's like a glyph.
Yeah, that's it.
Looks almost like a G, doesn't it? Sort of the shape of a glyph.
Yeah.
But yeah, also sort of like totem thing. I don't know, some sort of purple light shining around it.
But yeah, any suggestions? Obviously, drop a comment sections below. We've got no idea what that is. This next one looks quality. So this is like a island, but it is surrounded by what looks like a massive wall of water.
Yeah, it's almost like sort of like a whirlpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks quite calm though, doesn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Doesn't feel very destructive. It feels like the water's just there.
Yeah.
It's almost just like created a bowl for this land to just be there. I feel like this could just be the land for an island, the artwork for an island.
Yeah.
Or possibly a protection spell. But yeah, there's a few sort of hedrons floating around sort of the forefront.
Yeah, there's nothing else really in the picture. It's just.
But then on the left, there's a weird sort of something floating there on the left.
Yeah, it looks like there's a structure on that. Or is it floating like a floating island?
Sort of it looks like it's just floating above it a bit, and looks more angular. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, so it could be just like as you say, it could just be like a island land, but yeah, the fact that the water is encasing the island could be indication that it could be some sort of spell. I don't think it is going to be Lothros, the Tide Maker, unfortunately, because when he emerges from his deep water realm, the tides bow to his will and the coastline cowers in his presence. I don't think it's going to be that, unfortunately, Aaron. But yeah, it looks quite cool.
Yeah, hopefully we will get a good Leviathan in this set, because they do talk about them being there and out in the sea in Zendikar. So
we'll see in the future on that. But yeah, that just looks quite cool. That island. So it would be interesting to see whether that's a land or a spell. That one. And then we have again. This looks like the spell or the art we looked like earlier. This tower that's shooting up this beam of light. So that's
the Soul Rain sort of thing.
Yeah. That's got to be a big event that happens in the story or something, surely.
Yeah.
But what I like about this is that there's these two cute little beasts just like watching it from far.
They're like bears with big antlers.
Yeah.
Not like a sort of a stag's antlers. You know, I'm trying to think what they're called. They're just two long twisty horns. But yeah.
It's just the fact that they're just sat there on their little plateau, just watching Zendikar potentially heal itself after destruction. So I think that's just a nice little scene. They're like, oh yeah, our world's been ravaged, but now we can just sit here and watch as it gets healed again. But it's just nice that the wildlife is now they're just sat there peacefully watching this rain shoot up into the sky. So that just tells me that it is a restorative or a restoring effect rather than a destructive effect, because they're just sat there watching it.
Yeah, it does feel it. Yeah, I'm very interested in what this is. Again, what's going on at Seagate to cause this?
There's also the Hedrons are at the forefront of that bridge as well that you said about earlier. Those Hedrons are there, so it's depicting that very same event, that Soul Rain.
Yeah,
that same event.
Like I say, whether or not maybe it's just a building that does this or something. I don't know. Maybe it is just. Maybe it's not an event. Maybe it is just something that happens now. Maybe it might be almost like a ward against the Eldrazi. I don't know. Maybe they've set something up. To try and almost cloak the plane now, so that they're not drawn to it anymore.
Yeah. Whatever it is, the animals are comfortable around it, aren't they? So it must be either a part of everyday life in Zendikar, or it's just something that's now happening to help the plane in general. So we'll see what happens with that. But nice picture.
Yeah.
The next one is a new character, I believe. What do you reckon?
Yeah, this feels very direct. It's sort of like a roguelike character, 2 very sharp-looking daggers, and a shining blue boot. I feel it could just be a spell, couldn't it? The blue boot could be doing something. It might be that it's sort of like deflecting palm, something. Not that it's that, but I don't know. It's like a weird blue sort of light coming off it. Just very. Yeah, she's COVID ready though with the face mask, which is
absolutely
always positive.
Yeah, it's always they always know events way far in advance, don't they, as to what they're doing.
But this is the best sort of action shot we've got of this and the Angel, I guess.
Well, what I like about this is just that it is like in mid action. It's like she's just about to kick you in the face. So be warned, sort of thing. But yeah, definitely, it's really, really good. The leg is at a pure diagonal angle as well, so it's pure showing the flexibility of the aforementioned rogue character. This next one looks like Valakut again.
This. I think this is a Coombe, which is at the big mountain range. I think where the prison was, basically under the mountain.
Oh right, yeah.
And again, this has got to just be a big burn spell, just deal 4 damage to a creature or something, isn't it? It looks like a huge meteor come crashing down.
Yeah.
Well, not like an actual meteor, but like a huge lump of something. You can see the sort of famous spiky rocks that Akoum has here.
Yeah.
I was trying to look in the background again of this one to see if I could see anything. Can you see sort of like a dragon or? So that when I first looked at the top right thing, it's another one of these things crashing through. I thought that was a dragon, but it's not. I think it's just a rock. But I was just looking at this to see if there's any hints, like we had the Gomazoa earlier. But I can't see anything, I'm afraid.
No, I can't either. I looked at the obviously the massive focal point is that massive explosion, and I was looking at that impact point there to see if there's any sort of creatures or any sort of stuff in that impact point, but doesn't look like there is. Just looks like it's just loads of explosions and stuff.
So yeah, this could just be one of Valakut's explosions, and you're just seeing some of the destruction it can cause.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah.
So yeah, speculation on that I reckon is going to be quite accurate, just to deal some damage card. The next one is Nice and Tranquil.
Yeah. Maybe this is the before shot of our little
Hedron
token friend.
Yeah, before he got before he got sort of taken over by the roots and the elements. But this is just a shot in a forest with two little hedrons laying on their side, and they're surrounded by a bed of flowers. So it's just like it's showing you that the world is now starting to blossom, even though the history and the past is blatantly evident blatantly evident there. It's now blossoming again after the destruction.
And it's very tranquil again. And this one does look like it has fully recovered almost, doesn't it? It's, nothing here is showing a shade of like regrowth or anything. This is it. Almost fit. It looks like it is safe again.
Yes, it is.
Just
yeah.
The hedrons look deactivated now. They look like they've exhausted their power. But they do also look a lot like the little token we just said. And little flowers down there look like similar, just hues and colours. So yeah, maybe it is. Maybe this is the card that makes the token.
Yeah.
What have we got next?
Next one looks like
destruction.
A bit more destruction going on here.
Yeah,
so
it's not as peaceful as that little hedron anymore.
Absolutely not. No, something is causing some sort of destruction here.
So yeah, it looks like sort of there's people falling from the sky. It's some sort of floating city, as the core had, and clearly something's gone wrong. There's a lot of debris, a lot of people just plummeting.
Well, it's just been a really, really bad sort of climbing accident. They've all just sort of domino effect off each other, and they've all just fallen off.
Yeah, I think something's crashed. I don't know if that big sort of block going off to the right, I don't know if that is meant to be upright. I don't know if that's fallen.
Yeah.
There's another thing at the back that looks like it is in the process of falling as well. But yeah, I don't know. This doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't look good for everyone involved. I mean, I feel sorry for the bloke who's actually having to watch the carnage. He's there like, no, just seeing all these people fall from the sky, and he's just there on his rock, safe and sound.
Nice little perch.
Yeah, he has to witness these people falling to their deaths, knowing that he's got nowhere to go, unfortunately. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that event is, or what spell that is, or what is going on there to cause so much mayhem in comparison to the tranquility we just witnessed earlier. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
As we've mentioned across, like I say, most of these artworks, again, it's that dusky sort of lighting.
Yeah.
Again, so it's like a haze of, like I said, this I imagine it's like dust and debris, but again, it's another hazy sort of lighting, sort of coming through. Again, just showing that it's not.
I think it's just
growth.
Yeah, it's just a play on the mood. They're setting the mood as being a certain way. No light, no day, just like dusk. So it's like after the event, sort of. But yeah, I mean, some exciting set. So it's only a little bits of spoilers that we got, and obviously we'll cover them as and when they come up on future podcasts and what have you. But it is the 85th Magic expansion, apparently.
Is it
the 85th Magic expansion? Is
that just like sort of standard sets, not all the Commander products and things?
Yeah,
it must be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the specifics. I'm just reading the MTG wiki.
Yeah.
But yeah, 85th Magic expansion. I imagine that is in opposed to the other products and stuff that they do. I think it's just the expansions are the away from the core stuff, isn't it? It's the different themes and planes that we go to, like Kaladesh. That's an expansion. Innistrad, an expansion, I guess. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think so. But yeah, it's nice to see Zendikar back and being restored to its adventure world style. But yeah, I do like the flavours in all those arts and the themes that it was ravaged, but it is now coming back from the brink. But yeah, should be good. So that's all we've got time for today. I
just want to end on one quick fact for you, Aaron.
Yeah,
very quick. Hasbro have just released their latest set of accounts, and apparently Ikoria was the biggest selling spring set of all time. So that's a bit of good news.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether or not that's I don't know whether that includes digital, and therefore because everyone's locked at home, they've just been buying digital stuff just because they have got can't buy any other Magic stuff. They can't go to events. They might say, "Oh, I normally spend £50 on a draft. I might as well buy £15 worth of boosters online or something." But yeah, I just thought it was a bit of good news that apparently Ikoria did well.
No, that's good. Yeah, it's interesting as well because is that going to be because of the tie-in to Godzilla? Did it reach people more because of that marketing? Was it because of the fact that people were inside and they were like, "Oh, what do I play? Oh, my favorite game is Magic. I'll buy some packs online."
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if they can collate it to anything in particular. But
yeah, it'd be interesting to see the stats as to why it was the best selling. Was it because of the marketing and all that sort of stuff, or was it just because everyone was at home and they wanted to play Magic but they couldn't, so they went to Arena and played Magic instead, and they needed to buy some digital cards?
I just had a thought myself actually. Maybe it coincided with the fact that human drafting came to Arena as well. So
yeah, it could be why. There could be loads of different reasons why, but it'd be interesting to see if they do have a stat on it. Whether it's digital or it probably wasn't going to be paper sales, would it, this time?
Like I say, I'd be amazed if it is on paper sales. That is really incredible.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just saw this quick snippet. I saw the headline, and I just thought I'd mention it tonight as
nice little sign off.
Yeah, a bit of positivity.
Yeah, definitely, it is good. I mean, to be fair, I bought paper. I bought 3 commander decks for Ikoria, so I contributed to the paper side of it, but I don't know. I pre-ordered them actually in March, so I didn't. That was before lockdown happened, so maybe it was a lot of pre-order stuff. Because I know the commander decks for that sold out really quickly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do release any stats on it. But nice bit of positivity to end the podcast with. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Next week we'll probably have a look at Double Master spoilers and go through what's good there, as well as any other topics or discussions we think about. But thank you very much for tuning in on the podcast. If you listen to that, make sure you how do you do it on Spotify? You follow it on Spotify, don't you?
Yeah, subscribe to it. I think that's what we have on there.
Subscribe or follow on Spotify. You can follow us on SoundCloud as well, which is where the raw files go, unedited versions. So you can go and have a look at those. And then YouTube will be condensed even further in the form of pictures as well, so you can follow along with all the great art that we just spoke about as well. So make sure you like and subscribe on that as well. But thank you very much for tuning in, and I've been Aaron.
I've been Tom.
We'll see you next time.